Hello, Damien here from Spark Angels again. Today we're going to be doing a nice little quick repair on an iPhone 6 that's come in for their home button not working. So obviously in the background we've got sounds of a medieval battle, so hopefully that should be quite good. So with the device itself, very common thing on iPhones, especially iPhone 6 and 6S, is that over time the home button will stop working. So as you can see, pressing the home button, not lighting up, press the power button and it lights up. So obviously this is in activation mode, so saying at the bottom, press the home button to continue. You can see, press the home button, doesn't work at all, can't continue, so you can't actually go past this point. So getting the home button will obviously fix that up and you can get past it. So a few things with home button repairs is obviously the home button repair itself. If you replace the home button on any device that's got the Touch ID, so that's the fingerprint sensor, if you replace the home button on that, the fingerprint sensor will never work again. Obviously the home button itself will, but just the fingerprint sensor won't. So yeah, that's the one downside to replacing your home button. So you generally only replace your home button if it doesn't work or if it stops working. In this case, like this one doesn't work at all. So replacing the home button, obviously it won't get the fingerprint sensor, but it'll get the home button to actually function again. So yeah, just a little bit of a downside to replacing a home button on a fingerprint sensor, but if your home button doesn't work, it's a worthwhile repair. Good afternoon, Jennifer. How you doing? So we're just gonna replace the home button on this and hopefully get it all up and running again. So we'll start with your basics. Obviously, remove the screws at the bottom. Okay, so those screws don't seem to be coming out. Let's see why. Huh. Okay, so by the looks of it, when you're removing the screen, by the looks of it, yeah, the lugs at the bottom here have broken off the screen. So the screen's got little lugs there that the screws screw into the bottom, but by the looks of it, they're still broken off and actually still sitting inside the device, and that's why the screws weren't coming out. Yeah, bit of a nightmare. Obviously we can't end up fixing it. The only place where you can fix it is by gluing those homers back in place, which doesn't really work, or by replacing the screen itself. So the screen is pretty much only held down by the little lugs on the side that go in. But anyway, so we replaced the home button on that. Before doing the home button, obviously it's best to remove the actual battery, or just disconnect it. So you disconnect the battery. It's always the best thing to do when doing a repair. So what you would do is you would unscrew the screen, take the screen off and then do it. You can, however, do it a different way. So just turn the phone upside down and pretty much do the repair like that. It's just a little bit of an easier way. Obviously you can take off the screen and then do it that way, just a little bit safer because you don't have to hold the actual phone itself. You can just take it apart, do the screen with the home button, put it all back together and it'll be fine. But just for sake of ease and not having to take off the screen, you can just leave the screen like that and do it like that. So to do the screen, just two little screws at the bottom here. Lift up the little plate. Right, and then you just unplug the actual home button itself, and then you just pop it out from the front. Right. So that's the new home button. Home button is a simple case of, generally the best thing to do is clean up where you've taken off the whole button, the old home button, because the adhesive will still be there. So it just cleans it up just so the new adhesive from the home button can stick properly. Right, once that's nice and clean, the new home button, just pop it into place. The best thing to do is line up the cable itself, because the cable's got two little holes in it. Just line those up and then push the actual home button down in place. And then fold the connector over and pop it in. So obviously with putting the new gasket on the actual home button, that holds it in place. So a very common way as to why home buttons stop working is that little gasket becomes loose. And when it becomes loose, the home button moves around when you put your finger on it, and that ends up tearing this cable. That's generally how most home buttons die, is through that actual adhesive failing and then the home button moving around, and it stops that cable from working, which then in turn stops your home button from working. So putting new adhesive on it seals that in place, and that won't move out of place to fail again. Right, so once that's all put down, we put the bracket back over it and just screw that in. Right, so once it's all screwed in, just give it a test. Make sure the home button is clicking and working, because the worst thing you want to do is put it all back together and you figures out that that plate is sitting too close to the home button, so the home button isn't actually working. There we go. Once that's done, you can turn it back around. We can pop the battery back in and screw it back into place. So there we go. Once that's all screwed in, push the screen back down. Obviously, like I said, the screw lugs have broken off, so the screws will still stay in there, and the screen's only been held down by the sides. But that's all working, so we'll turn the device on and we'll test the home button, make sure everything's all working on it. Like I said, the most annoying thing about replacing a home button is you lose the Touch ID. But in cases like this, when the home button doesn't actually work, at least you get your home button function back. There we go. So that's on again. So we'll lock the device and then we'll press the home button. There we go. So home button is all working again. And obviously now, before we couldn't get past this little bit where it says pressing the home button. So you can press the home button and we can go through the whole setup as you would normally. But that is a working home button again. So there we go. Home button, fairly easy to change. Obviously, like I said, it does lose your fingerprint sensor, but gets the home button to work again. And obviously there's two different methods: completely removing the screen or leaving the screen on, just turning the phone upside down, but you will need to hold the phone in place so you can do the rest of the work, which does make it a little bit complicated. But otherwise, that is a nice, easy repair on a home button. So obviously, if you got any questions, want to know anything, feel free to comment down below. Otherwise, you can go on our website, which is sparkangels.co.uk. Got all of our prices on there and our contact number if you wanted to call us. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video of replacing the home button on the iPhone 6. Hopefully you enjoyed the medieval sounds in the background from what you can hear over my talking. But there we go. Alright, Damien, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.